It's time for On Point, where we speak to experts to delve deeper into some of the key issues in the spotlight right now. Come June 15th, South Korea will embark on its second launch attempt for Nuri, the country's first homegrown space rocket. But this time, instead of a dummy satellite, the craft will be loaded with a 180-kilogram performance verification satellite.
But with a failed attempt the first time around, what are some things that the Korea Aerospace Research Institute need to get right this time? To find out, we connect with Dr. Kang Sung-ju, Research Officer at the Astronomy and Space Team at the Gwacheon National Science Museum. Very good morning to you. And first off, let's talk about the first launch that took place last year. Everything seemed to have gone right until the very last moment. So could you possibly tell us what went wrong the first time?
Hi, yes. I'd like to say that the first launch in October last year was a very success of unfinished, rather calling a failure. Nuri space vehicle demonstrated successful separation of all three stages as well as the pairing. It also achieved the target altitude of 700 kilometers. However, while the Nuri was gaining the very high speed, the helium tank, which regulates the pressure inside the oxidizer tank, separated under higher buoyancy than intended. The disconnected helium tank had moved around inside the oxidizer tank at this time, allowing the oxidant to leak from the tank. The third stage engine turned off 46 seconds faster, and as a result, it didn't reach its target speed to 7.5 kilometers per second, although it reached the desired altitude of 700 kilometers. Except for the last moment, I believe all of the process have been very successful.
Dr. Kang, I'm sure, absolutely. I think it was more successful than failures because, again, even with the pairing aspect, that was the hardest task at hand. They were successfully able to do that. So I guess the big question now is what major tasks did Kari need to complete to make sure with this launch it's going to be fully successful?
Based on like more than 2,600 telemetry data, what they collected from the launch till the end from the first launch, I know the Kari people work over there properly studied the flaws in the very first launch and was able to manage the second launch more thoroughly. Since the structure of oxidizer tank was reinforced based on the first launch data, I believe the possibilities of second launch is higher than the first launch. If the launch is carried out as planned, probably this coming launch seems to have very high chance to succeed, and everyone involved in this project will do their best at the very last moment, I guess.
And also, Dr. Kang, unlike the first time round, the rocket's going to be loaded with an actual satellite. So if successful, then what would following satellites actually be used for?
Yes. A 1.5-ton dummy satellite was carried in the very first launch, while the second launch will carry an actual functioning satellite along with the dummy satellite. This actually functioning satellite is equipped with the new domestically made batteries. This a control moment gyro and S-band antennas to guarantee that the payload performs as we expected. It also contains 4 mini-cube satellites made by students from 4 Korean universities such as Joseon University, Yonsei Seoul University, and KAIST. These cube satellites will collect the data from Earth's atmosphere, monitoring fine dust around South Korea and China, and infrared imaging of Earth, and so on. So those mini cubes are working, actually functioning for actual monitoring the Earth system.
So, Dr. Kang, I mean, certainly don't want to jinx anything before the actual launch happens. But if, let's say, the Nuri is indeed successful, what would be the next major step for the South Korean space program?
All right. Oh, actually, with the second launch, after the second launch, the government-led launch will come to an end, and the private sector will lead then continue to verify the performance of the Nuri from the third launch. 4 more launches are planned until 2017. They also have the plans to boost engines performance from 75 tons to more than 80 tons, as well as the weight of payloads from currently 1.5 tons close to 3 tons. So Korea has currently trying to quickly acquire aerospace-related technology and transfer them to the private sectors, such as private companies or private research institute or some private institute and so on, so that Korean aerospace-related companies can become the leading group in the global market in the field. So after a second launch, the private sector will come to the market and will lead all the project.
Wow, a lot of exciting prospects to look forward to. Well, thank you very much for your insights today. We're looking forward to speaking with you again.
Thank you.